One of the biggest questions I get when I'm talking to people about Medicare is, should I go with the Medicare Supplement plan or should I go with the Medicare Advantage plan? In this video, that's exactly what we're going to talk about. A little disclaimer here. There ain't no perfect answer. I always like to tell my clients, just because your neighbor has a plan, that doesn't necessarily mean that's the best plan for you. Different strokes for different folks. My name is Brad Rhodes. I'm the Amazon best-selling author of Protecting Your Retirement. Every day I talk to folks about Medicare, Social Security, and also retirement income, how to create a secure retirement with all this volatility in the world, all the uncertainty in the world, how to create a secure retirement. Today we're going to be talking about Medicare, specifically Medicare Supplements versus Medicare Advantage. Let's get started. So what we're going to do, we're going to talk about the good and the bad and the ugly, as I like to say. So let's first talk about Medicare Supplements. Why do some people take a Medicare Supplement plan and some people take a Medicare Advantage plan? Both types of plans have their good and the bad, just like everything in life. Some good and some bad. So the reasons some people like to go with a Medicare Supplement plan, here are the reasons. Number one, when you take Medicare's primary and a Medicare supplement, the word supplement is supplementing Medicare. So you've got Medicare as primary and a Medicare supplement as secondary. And a little bit more specifically, if somebody's going to do a Medicare supplement through me, typically we do the Plan G. Medicare Supplement Plan G, and here's how it works. Let's first talk about if you had to go to the hospital, which is Medicare Part A. If you had to go to the hospital, whether it's a day in the hospital, 5 days, 100 days, between Medicare and the Medicare Supplement Plan G, guess what? You've got 100% coverage. The Medicare Supplement, again, is picking up where Medicare leaves off. There is this thing called a Part A deductible that Medicare does not pay. Your Medicare Supplement, that's what it picks up. So you've got 100% coverage if you're admitted to the hospital. Part B, or doctor's visits, outpatient surgeries, things like that, tests, things like that, EKGs, CAT scans, all that, is covered under Part B. Now, the one thing the Medicare Supplement Plan G does not cover anymore, the Plan F did cover it, but now people take out what's called a Medicare Supplement Plan G. It does not cover your Part B deductible. Up here on the screen, I've put what the Part B deductible is. That's what you have to pay before Medicare or your supplement is going to pay. So you pay that, and by the way, that's an annual deductible, once per year. It's a calendar year deductible. It resets every January the 1st. Once you meet that deductible, Medicare will pay 80%, and then your Medicare supplement picks up to 20%. Now, I haven't talked about prescriptions yet, but basically so far what I've told you is you go to the hospital, you go to the doctor, you have some type of test, things like that. Once you meet that Part B deductible, you are home free. You've got excellent, that's what I mean by excellent coverage. The other thing that people like about having original Medicare and a Medicare supplement, no networks. You just go when you need to go. You don't have to worry about, is my doctor in the network or not. That's a big plus to a lot of people. That's why I call these Medicare supplements a lot of times worry-free plans. It's like a breath of fresh air. You just give the hospital, the doctor, your Medicare card, your Medicare supplement card, very little out-of-pocket cost, and there you go. So that's all the good. A lot of people say, hey, sign me up. Well, hold on. One of the negatives is the price. So as we've talked about in another video, in order to get a Medicare supplement, you've got to have Medicare A and B. Medicare Part B, the premium, you've got to pay that premium. In 2023, that premium is $164.90. Now, in another video, right after this video, we're going to talk about how some people with higher incomes have to pay more than that $164.90. But for now, let's just say Medicare, the standard premium is $164.90. These Medicare supplements, there's a price with that. Down below in the notes section, I've got a comparison of some um, different plans and different parts, different zip codes. I'm going to share with you some sample rates, so you'll get an idea of what we're talking about. So that's a negative. You got to pay the Medicare Part B premium. You also have to pay for your Medicare Supplement insurance. That's another premium. Another negative is that Medicare supplements do not have prescription coverage built in. So if you want prescription coverage, you take out what's called a standalone Part D plan. That's a separate plan. Also, most of you guys have heard about, well, what about dental? What about vision? What about hearing? What about that free membership I've heard at the YMCA or Planet Fitness? That is not included in most Medicare supplement plans. When we move over here in just a second to Medicare Advantage plans, that's what we're going to talk about. Before we move over to Medicare Advantage plans, up here on the screen, I've got a screenshot of a book we want to get out to you. Again, down in the notes section, if you will just click on the link, this book is called Helping You Navigate the Medicare Maze. Really gives you some good insight, helping you make a decision between a Medicare supplement and a Medicare Advantage. So I hope that helps you understand the big deal why people like a Medicare supplement. Now, let's move to Medicare Advantage. Personally, I like Medicare Advantage. For the right situation, I have a lot of my clients who are on Medicare Advantage plans. A big part of that really has to do with where I happen to live. My area of the country, my area here in North Carolina, these Medicare Advantage plans in my area are very popular because we have some great networks of doctors and hospitals right here in my part of the state that most all of them take the Medicare Advantage plans. So that's a good thing. So let's first talk about the positives, the good with Medicare Advantage. You've probably all seen these commercials, these zero premium plans. How in the world is that possible? In one of the next videos we're going to talk about, we're going to cover how in the world do these Medicare Advantage companies not charge me anything? Well, we're going to get to that in a following video. But yes, you can get a zero premium, but I want to make sure you understand you still have to have Medicare Part A and Part B to get a Medicare Advantage plan. Thus, you're going to pay that Part B premium of $164.90. You pay that, but the Medicare Advantage, there's no additional cost on most of these plans that we do. So that's a good thing. The other cool thing with these plans is the copays are not that bad. Most of the plans, you go to a primary doctor, zero copay. You go to a specialist, depending on the plan, usually between a $20 and a $25 copay for a specialist. These plans have dental built in. They've got vision. They've got, a lot of them have hearing benefits. Prescriptions are built right into the plan. Pretty awesome. A lot of the plans also give you a free membership to the YMCA or Planet Fitness, free gym membership. Again, another bell and whistle that you get. Some of these plans have over-the-counter allowances or credits they give you that you can go to your local pharmacy or go online and get all these over-the-counter benefits. They're giving you all these bells and whistles, all this good stuff, right? Hold on a second. Let's talk about the negative. In life, good and bad, right? You got good and bad. So here's some of the negative. Number one, with Medicare Advantage plans, you have networks. Now, again, where I happen to live, in a lot of the areas I work in, you got big networks. But in some parts of my state, some parts of the country, especially if you've got a more rural area or a more remote part of your state, it might not be a good fit for you to have a Medicare Advantage plan. That's why I'm going to, over and over and over again, I tell my clients why you need to have someone local who knows the local landscape. I don't talk to people out in Nebraska or up in New Hampshire. I like to work in my area where I know my doctors and I know my hospital networks, and I can look it up, lickety split, and can let you know if your doctor's in the network or not. One of the other negatives is some of the bigger copays. So, for example, if you had to go to the hospital, most of these plans have pretty high copays, and it's a per day copay. So if you're in there for 5 days, you've got let's just say a $300 per day copay. You're there for 5 or 6 days, you're looking at $1,500 to $1,800. That can really add up. If you will check into my notes section right down below this video, that is one of the main things we talk about. Some of our clients take out a little separate policy that picks up these copays for you. Not everybody does it. It's not right for everybody, but a lot of my clients like to have those little policies that pick up the bigger copays. You can also call me. We can really get into detail about that. So we've talked about the good and the bad. Obviously, I can't cover every little detail on this policy. Whether it's me or whether it's someone else, I would encourage you to speak to someone who specializes in this, and not just for the last 2 weeks or 2 months. Find somebody who's been doing this a while, who knows what they're talking about. The next video, I'm going to really take a deep dive into Medicare supplements, the companies we recommend. I would encourage you to stay tuned. We'll talk to you soon. Take care.